Hello, and welcome to Shaheen and Erica's Shitshow Extravaganza. My name is Shaheen, and I have to go to work because capitalism is more important than public health.
This is not a political podcast.
That's true, and we have a special guest today. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Alex, and I legally cannot say the title of this podcast.
Ha! He's right. That's a good one. Okay,
Yeah.
so Alex and I have been, I want to say friends, but I feel like our relationship is so stressful at times.
Questionable.
Yeah. We've been friends since 2014. We met in our first year of college, but in the second semester, I basically
hmm
harassed him until he was forced to hang out with us.
Yep, it was about exactly 6 years ago. I think it
Yeah,
was like in March.
actually, it is. It is. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I
And
basically saw him wobbling.
I I was a weak little dog. I was injured, and
Like
I could not escape.
legitimately, he was hurt. Like he was actually in
Yeah.
pain.
No, my right ankle was sprained, and so I was literally on crutches. Well, not at the time. I
Yeah,
was going to the hospital limping, and then later got crutches,
from us.
which is when I was not allowed to escape.
Yeah. So basically, I saw him. Sorry if I cough. I have potential
He
corona.
has the corona.
Yeah. I saw him waddling out of East Commons, which is a cafeteria on campus. And this, I barely knew him at the time. Like, he came over once or twice as a mutual friend.
Yep.
And then I said, "Hey, where you going?" Or he said he was hoping that I wouldn't notice his ankle.
Yeah, I was hoping that you just wouldn't see me or just like leave.
And then I said, "Hey, Alex, what's wrong with your ankle?" And
Yeah, and I was
then
like, well, it's already out there. I'm just gonna say I'll go to the hospital, and then you can go home, I guess.
I said, "Let me go home. I have no social life. I'll follow you to the hospital." He was
Yep,
freaked
you
out by that
actually
because
had
I could have
plans.
just been anything.
You Yeah, you had lunch plans to go meet up with two other friends,
Yeah, but then I
and
dragged
then
you along.
instead you dragged them to this person who they didn't even really know.
Yeah,
And
but look at that,
and
magic
yeah,
happened. You got free
6 years later
crutches. We
we're still
played the game
friends.
of life, and here we are, about 6 years later.
Yep.
Um,
And many
ma-
homemade pazookies later.
oh yeah, wow, so many Pazookies. One of us had to be sick every time. But
Well,
yeah,
here,
Alex was a part. I'm sorry.
now that you've got the corona, we can have another one and spread it
Yeah,
to
we
everybody.
have to. Whenever one of us is sick, we spread amongst the group, which is a group that we used to have second semester of my freshman year, our freshman year, and it was a group of
Mm-hmm.
me, Alex, Gigi, and Mono. We were called the Gigi Tuxente. It
The
was a good time.
Tokusentai.
Yeah,
Very good.
we had some good memories. I was surprised that we all blended in together, considering how
Got along.
vastly. Yeah, because our personalities were really all over the place.
Very, very different.
What did we have in common?
You and I liked Japanese. We were
That's
taking the
true. We
class
met in Japanese
and
class.
video games.
That's true. My Kingdom Hearts
And
playthrough.
yeah, it was
Mono is
very
also a weeb.
odd.
He liked that weeb shit.
Yep,
And then Gigi
he was very
liked
into Mario.
being surrounded by dudes.
True. She had her harem innocence of the
Yeah,
word.
her reverse harem. But yeah, I think it's just a good time. Uh, you playing the piano, Mono doing Gigi's Spanish homework, me playing video
You
games,
playing
she's
video
cooking,
games.
and we don't mean that in a sexist sense. We just mean that literally she's the only one that knows how to cook.
I think it was her ideas to make the Pazookies.
It wasn't Pazuki. She made something with chicken, rice and chicken or something.
Well, yeah, she would do that, but I think that
Yeah,
the
the
idea
Pazukis
for the
were her
Pazookies
idea
also
because, I
me.
mean, it's Gigi. Um, Mono also really likes the Pazukis. But anyway,
Yep.
Yeah, that's
I
how
don't think
that.
that's what today's episode is.
Yeah, that's our origin story. And Alex is here today because he will be adding to the study abroad series, but this time it's a little bit different because not only did Alex study abroad from, was it 2016 to 2017, right?
2015 to 16.
Really? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
20. Really? Well, hold up.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, it was my
No, no, no.
junior year.
No, no,
It was
no.
my junior year. I was gone
That wasn't our junior
September.
year. Wait, no. 2013 to 20. No, you're right. You're right. I'm dumb. You're right.
I'm right.
You're right. You're right.
I remember when I left the country.
No, you're right. You're right. Don't be angry. It's okay. I remember I have
Okay.
corona. It's just affecting me
It's
over
okay.
here.
Right. And
Uh,
Alzheimer's.
yeah, Alzheimer's. I
The
am
side effects
colorblind too.
from
Um, but yeah, he went abroad 2015, 2016. Right? Did I say it right? 2014, 2015. He went abroad, okay?
2016.
He went abroad. That's the point,
Even when
okay?
I was abroad.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
studied in Japan. He came back, graduated a year earlier than me because he couldn't wait.
Well,
Uh,
I'm sorry.
I don't blame you. I took my time.
You took your time.
uh,
You took like a leisurely stroll through college.
listen, 5 years is normal.
Okay,
You
you
and
took
Steven and
you
Andrew were
took a
the
nice
anomaly.
walk. You took a nice walk in the park.
Yeah.
I like jogged.
In my defense, I would come back to Kuwait, and that's a lot different from teaching in Japan. Oh, spoiler alert!
Yeah.
That's where Alex is right now.
I'm still in Japan.
Yeah, he
It was
is.
not
He
just
went back
studying
to
abroad.
Japan after graduating and is currently employed there and living there, and also is in Japan.
I'm employed in Japan, but I still live in the U.S. and I have to commute by
he,
airplane.
he commutes every day to work. That would be horrible. Something you didn't know about Japan, sorry, Alex, is he actually is a thug. He grew up
Quite
in the
thuggish.
roughest parts of California,
Yep. If
Palmdale.
you took any time to just search Palmdale into Google, probably the top search results will have something to do with crime or fire or any of the above.
Here's the funny part: is if you meet Alex, like you can probably tell from his voice, but if you meet Alex, he is so passive, and he doesn't even cuss, and he's so introverted, and he just doesn't like conflict and issues. Just that kind of guy.
Just a very avoiding
Yeah,
person.
and then when we visited Palmdale, one of our friends was like, "Oh, let me just look up Palmdale on Google," and then this. We weren't in America anymore. This was somewhere else. This is a third world country. We it was horrible. The crimes we saw. There was like fucking.
I think one of the top ones was a murder that had
It
like
was a murder.
happened.
There's also a. It's called when you burn shit.
Arson.
Yeah, there was like 3 arson crimes in the top 5 list. Why
Right,
is that
right.
so normal? Anyway, yeah. So he grew up in the thug area, dude. I don't know if we're allowed to share this story because it's your story. But
Okay.
the prom thing, remember?
The-
Your
Huh?
car?
Oh,
Was
that
that
was a
during
prom.
prom?
No,
Or was it just
that
a
was just
dance?
a random Friday night.
Uh,
All right.
please,
Okay,
if
for
you're
any
okay with sharing it,
backstory,
share it,
because
please.
yeah. I'll be fine with sharing this. And if I decide later, we can cut it out. Whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, so in high school, I used to be in the marching band, and my senior year, I was the drum major, which is like the head student leader of the band. And on Friday nights after football games, we would usually go to Denny's to just relax. It was like, 10, 11 p.m. at night. People were hungry. So we'd go to Denny's, eat, hang out for a couple hours, and then leave. And being like one of the head leaders, it was my duty to make sure that, my members would get home or had rides or anything like that. And so there were 2 girls that were, I think, sophomores at the time. They lived in the same neighborhood as me, so I decided that I would give them a ride back to their house, and then call it a night and whatever. And so I went to my car. I was sitting there waiting, just in the driver's seat, had the car on, nothing happening. And the two girls run to my car, get in, and tell me, Alex, you have to go. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I can't even process anything that's happening. And I like look out the front of my car, and a dude literally jumps onto like the front of the car, leaves indents on it, and then comes over to the driver's side window, starts punching on my window while screaming at the two girls. And I'm just freaking out. There's like two other people had come with him that he was with, and they start just like surrounding the car. I'm trying to like back out, get out of the way. The dude literally smashes my window with his fist. So the window shatters into my lap. And the girls are in the car like crying, screaming. I'm just trying to like get out without running anybody over the car. Eventually get out of there. And then like we're on the main road back to my house. They're still crying. They're saying like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Like, I'm just like in shock. I've got like small cuts on my arm from the glass, like shattered glass in my lap. Get home that night, walk into my parents' room. I'm like, "Hey, my window got smashed in," and they're like, "What?" So then we call the police. Guy comes out to check it out. Nothing happens. And then we go on with our day.
And that's a regular Friday night in good old Palmdale.
Yeah. We went to bed, nothing happened of it. Guy was never caught. We never got money for the window.
So yeah, that's Alex and his where he grew up and why he's deep down a thug.
Yeah. I had actually forgotten about that for like.
I can't forget about it.
It's
so wild.
For a couple years, probably.
I will constantly remind you that you were one time in some kind
now
of
I'm gonna have that. That memory is just now stuck in my head.
So wild. That's so wild, and it's crazier again knowing who Alex is. Like how long have we hung out?
Yeah.
I'd say 3 years. Yeah. No, 5. No, 4. You studied one abroad, but you also came back briefly after graduation.
I'd say that we had a good solid 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years of friendship, and those 4 like we've been friends longer, but I mean like those him there in the same breathing space as me. Yeah, so yeah, knowing Alex throughout all those years, you can't imagine him being in that kind of situation. Like it's so hard to imagine it because we've done dumb shit, but usually Alex is a bystander to me. I don't know, chucking myself out a window or
I'm typically watching things as they happen.
Yeah, like it's usually him. He's just a bystander to a lot of the crazy shit. So when I hear the story, I'm always amazed by the fact that it happened to Alex. Oh man, what a time. Anyway.
What a time.
Yeah. So now let's move on to. Would you like to speak about studying abroad, working abroad, or start with one and go to the other?
Well, I might as well just do chronologically.
Then please, go ahead.
A little more background, I guess.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like we said, I studied abroad my junior year, so 2015 to 2016, in Japan at Doshisha University in Kyoto. So I went there for the intent of studying Japanese language. I had studied for 2 years in university and then wanted to just get better. I wanted to get good fast.
Good.
And so there's no better way than just living in the country.
That's true.
So as far as like why I wanted to study Japanese, I didn't have much of a reason. Like going into university, I didn't care about anime. I didn't have like any interest in like the Japanese culture or anything. As a kid, I just really loved Nintendo games. And I knew that Nintendo was from Japan and like they got Mario games first before it could come over here. So like I always thought Japan was pretty cool on like the video game technology aspect. And then going into university, I thought it would be a cool opportunity to take the language. And then after that is when I started to actually get into more anime music. Uh, I joined the JSA, which is another reason that Shaheen and I got closer.
Yeah, he was there before I was president.
And
He was there before I was an
yes, I
officer.
was before you were even anything there. Yeah.
Yeah, we were both members in the
Um,
same semester.
right. And
Wild.
so at JSA, we were able to meet a number of exchange students. And so getting to know the students that were studying abroad in America made it even more of like a, man, it'd be really cool to go visit and like live there for a year, do what they're doing. But so I applied, got accepted, and lived in Kyoto for a year. Um, the university itself was, I'm a little biased, but I'd say it was amazing. And they really just had different opportunities for like all skill levels. So like if people wanted to go there to study Japanese, you could go there either from complete beginner or basically near fluency, and they had the whole spectrum covered. And doing that, I met a number of friends from all across the world that are basically still some of my best friends today. And I didn't meet Shaheen there, but he's still there too.
E. You knew I was
So
feeling it. You knew I needed something.
I could feel it. I could feel it.
Yeah.
But I think one of the best experiences that I got out from studying abroad was just a more globalized outlook. Like, sure, my Japanese improved. Sure, I learned things about living and whatnot. But constantly interacting with people from completely different cultures while living in a culture that's completely different than yours, you're just put into so many different situations that you have to become adaptable. And so like in my second semester language class there, I think that there were 2 of us that were from America, and then we had like 5 or 6 from China, a couple from Korea, 1 from Ireland, 1 from Argentina, 1 from Canada, and then probably a few other students that I'm not quite remembering. Oh, we had a guy from Israel,
We
and then
don't
like
we
a
don't
few others
mention
that
that. We don't
I don't
mention
quite
that on this
remember.
podcast. We don't.
But living in that sort of environment, and then every day for a number of hours during class, like you have to think in Japanese, or you have to, if you want to say a question, you have to do it in the language.
You have to breathe in Japanese.
And if you want to talk with somebody else, maybe they don't know English, so the only language you share is Japanese. Like, it just gave so many opportunities to, develop and just improve. So if there's anybody, this doesn't work with just Japanese, obviously. If there's any place that you want to go to and its like main language isn't English, then obviously it's good to study abroad or to study up on the language ahead of time. But being there and then just immersing yourself in the culture and using the language, it's probably the best way that you can, I don't know, get a handle on what you want.
So yeah, I was gonna say that the worst thing about, or a big mistake that a lot of international students do when they travel abroad, is they immerse themselves mostly with people from their country that are also going there, and that's very problematic. Like for a lot of Kuwaitis that traveled with me at the time would barely
Right.
have any foreign friends in
For
San
sure.
Diego. It's just their own group of friends, and
They go as a clique, basically.
yeah, and they can't strengthen their idea of culture, even though, yeah, I know there's a joke that U.S. doesn't have a culture, but at least San Diego is a melting pot, and you could definitely grow more cultural awareness there.
Mm-hmm.
And even a lot of this doesn't just apply to people coming to the states from Kuwait. It's also like Japanese students. A lot of Japanese
Yep.
students we've seen, they come for ALI, the language school, and that's an extension of San Diego of SDSU, and they
Right.
would just stay with their Japanese friends. Or they would stay with
Mm-hmm.
even foreign friends that also equally suck at English. Like it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not salty that they didn't join JSA. I'm just. I'm just
Yeah, but
saying.
no, typically, like, it's very easy for a group of three or four people that you get along with really well, and then you have like this sort of shared experience of like we're both living in a completely different place than ourselves. So you have that comfort.
Yeah,
It's very easy to fall into that.
yeah, and the problem with that is you end up not really growing at all. You kind of just go to school, but in a different country. You may strengthen. Like I'm not
Right.
saying that you don't grow at all. Actually,
Right, right.
you have to order something from Starbucks eventually, right? So you do definitely do practice here and there. It's just there's definitely a bigger benefit to spending time with local speakers,
Exactly.
because then you know, just good overall. You could even, because the thing is, a lot of people would also visit these places as tourists, like they're going for
Mm-hmm.
school, but they consider it like a tourist destination. But the issue is, those areas will always be there. I could always go back to San Diego and go to La Jolla Cove, or go to, I don't fucking know, SeaWorld. I don't know,
Right.
Sunset Cliffs, whatever. But the people that you meet are what makes a place even more valuable, because those are the things that you can't
Mm-hmm.
really travel back to. It's something to live in the moment, and people kind of
Mm-hmm.
don't take advantage of that idea of going abroad. Is the areas, the locations will most likely always be there, but the people and the
Right.
memories will never come back. It's one of those things that are treasured and frozen in time for you to always recall deep down when you need a pick me up. Why did this turn into a weird?
Weird motivational speech
Yeah,
about
like
like
I'm
go out
halfway.
there and make a community in.
Yeah, like that was weird. Anyway, but that was your study abroad experience, right?
Right.
What you said that you learned Japanese because you didn't really have an interest in it. You just knew that kind of Nintendo was,
Right.
a thing when you were a kid, and you were like, yeah, why not? Um,
Right.
why did you continue learning it? What fully compelled you?
Um, that's another thing that like I'm not really sure. So, because going into like university and stuff in America, you need certain general education credits.
Yeah, the
So
GEs.
like
Yeah,
going in, I knew that I was going to need to do foreign language,
yeah,
and so obviously Japanese was going to fill that, and so it's like, well, I'll at least continue it for a full year. And so going into like class registration, I went into university as a mathematics major. And like I basically had, my future planned as I'm going to get a degree in math, I'm going to do some sort of STEM research or job and then work in that kind of field. That did not end up happening. I ended up graduating with a Japanese degree and a mathematics minor. But besides the point, so like I knew that I was going to do Japanese for 1 year at the least because of general education. And it was in that year that I found one, I had a knack for the language because it was, for me, like a lot of things just sort of started to make sense. Because
yeah.
I
And
would say that,
I'm here to confirm that Alex is a very good Japanese speaker. We would use
because
him for
like,
translations. He would be our honorary Japanese when we need a Japanese.
right.
Yeah,
So like a lot of things,
when you remember when Kitajima Sensei wanted to talk to me, and she thought, oh, Shaheen's the president of JSA. He must know Japanese.
right.
She starts
So then
talking
you're
to me in
talking about like
Japanese, and
putting
I
like,
just shift my eyes to Alex for help,
you're like, please save me.
and he did. Like he's really good at the language.
But I would say that the language is very pattern based.
I agree
So to
also on
me,
that.
it felt very similar to math. Um, and I know they're gonna have very differing opinions on that. That
Mm.
was sort of how I saw it. And so in that first year of studying the language, I had a knack for it. Uh, it was just really fun, and the people that I met through that first year and JSA, joining that, all of that stuff, it made me continue for the second year. And then it was at the start of the second year where they're like, hey, study abroad applications are going up. So if you want to study abroad next year, then you have to do this now. And so at that time, I had a lot of like debating internally, and then also like talking with my parents and stuff. Like, what should I do? Should I try to go abroad, but then like that's gonna hurt the math major? Should I switch my major? All of that sort of stuff. And in the end, I decided that it would be sort of just a once in a lifetime experience of getting to live in a foreign country for a full year as a student. It was sort of the opportunity that I couldn't pass. And then through that experience, it just sort of propelled into where I am now.
And where you are now is again, as we mentioned, working and living in Japan. Mind telling us about that
Yep.
as well?
So currently I'm on the JET program, and
That means
that
he
stands
becomes
for
a fighter jet pilot.
yes. So we are, a legion of humans that have turned into jets, and we're fighting for the Japanese government.
Since they can't have their own military.
Exactly. No, so JET is the Japan Exchange and Teaching, is what it stands for. And so there are two main categories of JET. There's actually three, but the two main ones are ALT, which is Assistant Language Teacher, and CIR, which is like Coordinator for International Relations. And ALT is, as I said, it's teacher. So you go to the country and you either work in elementary schools, middle schools, or high schools, assisting uh, English language classes. The other portion of JETS, the CIRs, work at government offices, so usually like local city offices or prefectural places, and they coordinate international relations. So they'll set up events, or they'll do translation work for intercultural things, so sort of promoting whatever your home country is and Japan. And to be a CIR, you need to have Japanese proficiency. ALTs, you don't need to speak any Japanese at all.
Yeah. When you're an assistant, do you often assist a foreign teacher or is it a local Japanese teacher teaching English?
So, as far as I know, they are all Japanese teachers.
Okay.
Um, every, because usually the way that it works is that it's a licensed English teacher in Japan, who are typically, Japanese people. And because in order to get those qualifications, one, it's really hard, and two, for a foreigner to become that good at Japanese and to be able to teach, like become a certified teacher to go through all that schooling in Japan, it's like a very long, complicated process.
I see, I see. And how is it living in Japan? Is it a good time? Is it stressful? Do you
Yeah,
get homesick?
um, I've gotten homesick a bit. The country itself, obviously being a developed country, is really pleasurable. I live in a semi-urban city, I would say. It's situated between Osaka and Kobe, and the place that's famous for the beef.
Mm-hmm.
And so, in order like to get to a big city, it's like a 20-minute train ride away, which is nice. But actually living where I am, it's rather laid back. Like there's not a lot of traffic everywhere. There's not bustling noises of the city. So the country itself is really nice. And as far as getting homesick, recently I went back to America after a year and a half of living in the country. So that was really nice. But, in today's age when we can just video chat and do all that stuff, it makes it a lot more bearable than I'm sure it was 10 or 20 years ago.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Do you have any
Yeah.
plans to visit back to California?
So in October, actually, my sister is getting married.
Oh,
Congratulations. Woo! Clap, clap, clap. And so I should be staying in Alabama /
oh.
Tennessee. I'm not sure where it is. Yeah, she doesn't live in California right now.
No. Okay.
So I'll be over there for, I think about a week. But I'm hoping to, like, go back to California for a little bit and then go with my parents to the wedding, stay there, and then maybe see California a little bit on the way back, and then leave.
Okay.
So I
for
won't spend the whole time at the wedding. It's not a 2-week long wedding.
yeah. So for anyone who is missing Alex in San Diego, are you gonna go to San? You could. You drive, right?
Yeah, I could easily make it to San Diego.
Yeah. So
So
if
if you're
anyone's missing
listening and in
Alex,
San Diego,
yeah. Here's a little. You
October,
heard it
I
here first,
should be
fellas.
there.
We report on the real news here. Fuck the coronavirus.
If you see me like trying to fake posts of being in Japan in October, call me out on it. I'm actually there.
Wait, so I know that traveling is kind of a no-no right now. Do you think it'll be like that for a while? Do you think it's going to clear up during the summer? I'm asking for myself at this point.
Yeah, it's hard to see because not too long ago, like 2 weeks ago, it would be very easy to travel like back to the U.S. from here.
Hmm.
Um, I've seen people online saying that like apparently ticket prices are
So
very,
low.
very cheap.
Like there's someone,
Understandably, but also,
yeah,
yeah,
straight up saying, millennials straight up saying, if I die, I die. But at least they go to really
at
exotic
least I
places.
can actually afford it now.
Yeah.
But I haven't talked to him in about a week or so, but my brother was planning on coming here in May, and I don't know if he's still planning on it. I'm hoping that like flights and stuff don't get canceled. Um,
It seems
but
pretty bleak right now.
one of my coworkers, her sister was supposed to come here the end of March, and I already know that her flight is canceled,
Yeah.
so she can't. So I think by May, my brother probably won't be able to. I'm hoping he does, but I don't know. The chances don't seem good. But I think by October,
You
I
should,
should be set.
like, hopefully the pandemic passes
I really
over.
hope.
Like,
Wash your hands, people.
yeah, I mean, you should be washing your hands before this happened. But okay,
But
sure.
everywhere.
Let's wait until a pandemic happens for us to prioritize hygiene. I'm different. I went to a conference.
Shane, wash your
I
hands.
went to a conference, not a conference, a convention. Even if I wanted to avoid it, there's some nasty ass people out there. Like, I'm pretty clean. I've used enough hand sanitizer that I'm losing the skin on my hands.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
saying.
My hands are so dry
Yeah.
because of how
It's
much
making more cuts
sanitizer.
on my hand for the virus to come in. That's how dedicated I am to being sanitized. 'Cause you can't
It's
help
like
it when
the,
people cough in your face.
It's like the SpongeBob episode where he has to learn how to be a good employee and he just rubs his hands completely.
That's gross.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's gross.
You know the one I'm talking about.
Probably, yeah. What else?
Somebody knows.
Because the thing is, I was gonna visit. I was actually planning on visiting soon, like within the next few months. But because I recently got a job, I can't travel for 6 months.
For 6 months.
Yeah, so it would be 6 months. I think maybe mid-August. So if I could, if possible, I would like to travel end of August until like before September ends.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's also going to be a comic convention in Kuwait, and that would be a good way to advertise my story. And today's
Your
sponsor is
story.
Crimson Star, the story that I'm writing, and I could say that it's sponsored by us because it's me. But
Because it's an
anyway,
actual product that's actually happening right
yeah,
now.
no more jokes. This is real. I think I mentioned it in the last. Not I think I'm 100% sure I mentioned it in the last episode. Go listen to that.
It's
It's
gonna be
short.
a recurring thing every episode.
Yeah, until you guys
Because
follow
it's an
all
official
20 of you.
sponsor.
But yeah. Well, thank you, Alex, for telling us about your experiences abroad. Hopefully,
Yeah,
your brother can visit, but life's been weird.
I hope so too.
And congratulations to your sister. That's good.
Thank you. I'll let her know.
Yes. Is it the oldest one or the older one?
It's the older one, the loud
Oh,
one,
the one that I am
the
aware
one
of.
that you're close with.
Yeah,
Yes,
the one. Yeah, okay. That we team
not
up
the sister
against you.
that you're questioning if she actually exists.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well that's good. That's good, man. It's nice catching up. We haven't talked in about a year and a half. We've texted, yes, but not talked.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
Alex is a very supportive person for this podcast, so that's why it's a pleasure to have him
Ooh,
on it.
I'm one of
Uh,
those 20 views.
yeah, he's a committed 20 viewer. He also comments. Bless you, Alex. You bring me life. Um, but yeah,
You're
thank you,
welcome.
Alex. And you know what I have to do right now.
I'll cover my ears.
Well, I don't know if it's gonna work. Last episode, it was so
Well,
good. Last episode, it was so. Did you read the
I
description?
know. I also can't like avoid listening to it in person, so I
God,
have to. I can't avoid it.
let me. I don't know why I'm cracking my knuckles. I require my entire body. The
I
thing
crack my
is,
neck if I
last
didn't
ep.
already do it.
So Alex, you know that I've been struggling with it, right? Like I can't get a good one
Hmm.
out. But the
Right,
last
right.
episode was so good, but it didn't show up in the last clip. It was so good. It was. Okay, let's try this.
I believe.
I think
Oh
that was
my
pretty
god.
solid. I think that was pretty solid.
No, that was solid. That was solid.
Cool, 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 cool.
Just
Well,
I don't even understand how you do it.
you know what? I did it in the first episode, and we kept doing it ever since. I don't know why I did it. I didn't know how to end the episode,
Just
and now,
just physically, I don't know how you do
oh,
it.
I just, I
I
don't
don't
know
wanna
either.
know.
That's why I forgot for like 3 months. But anyway, thank you for joining us today, both the viewers and our special guest, Alex. Alex, we look forward to having you on the show again.
Thank you for
Hopefully with
having me.
yeah, hopefully with the rest of the Tokusentai team if we can plan it
Sentai.
somehow.
Yep, I'd
And
love to do it again.
good luck with your living abroad. Also, one last
Also,
question. You're a very picky
yeah,
eater. How is living in Japan?
it's
This
good.
guy doesn't like hummus. I'm sorry. Keep going.
What? Yes, I do.
Oh, what was it that you didn't like?
I don't eat a lot of cheese.
You're
I
white
think
though.
that's the main thing that people are like picking on me about.
Well, yeah, I remember
I
like
don't know.
first year you would not eat anything that you're not comfortable
Well,
with.
yeah, yeah,
But you
you know,
definitely grew
the
after
basic
Japan.
rice and stuff. Yeah, studying abroad really helped me eat more just because I was kind of forced to. And with my work, we get school lunches, and I can't be picky about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally have to eat whatever's given to me, and I've eaten some weird things that I'm not happy with. Um, but I've gotten a lot better about I can at least finish foods. I'm still picky, but there's not something I can't eat.
Yeah. Man, picky eaters piss me off sometimes, but a lot of our friends are like that.
Yep.
But
If
anyway,
we were to meet again and we were to go out somewhere and you were to order something and offer it to me, I'd be able to eat whatever you offered.
yeah, I remember one time you couldn't even swallow something that we offered you from the Al Faran Arabic restaurant.
Oh God. Okay. One last story before we finish this. One of the worst JSA meetings that ever happened. Um,
Oh!
I know this is jumping way back. Uh, I don't know what the games were, but we were doing some sort of games, and there was a punishment for whoever lost. So my team lost some game, and the punishment was like a, what do they call it? Campfire smoothie?
Some
Is that what it was
disgusting
called?
ass shit, yeah.
It was awful. So someone brought in a blender, and they put things like hot dogs, chocolate syrup. Uh, I don't know. Do you remember what else was in it?
No,
Eight.
I was doing the tabling upstairs, and I kept
Oh
coming back, and
God, you were there.
it keeps getting worse every time
Oh
I come back.
God. Yeah, no, they were like I'm pretty sure it was beans, hot dogs, chocolate syrup, maybe marshmallows, other stuff. And they blended that thing, and they had a full glass, and someone on the team had to drink it. And me being the passive person that I am, it got pushed onto me. So I
Jeez.
had to take the bullet for the team and chug that down.
You know that's
So
still a topic of
that
conversation.
that campfire smoothie thing may actually be what cured my pickiness, or at least made me able to eat more.
Yeah, no, a lot of people still bring that up. The people that
God,
witnessed it, I was
it's
there when it
awful.
happened. That's what people say, and they,
I was there. I didn't want to be
you were the topic in
there.
question.
Ugh. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's it
but
about picky eating.
picky eating and Alex having to jump levels basically. Oh man. Well, yeah. That's an
All
extra
right.
story added to the end. That's the
Yeah.
post-credit
The
scenes.
bonus. Yep. For
Uh,
anyone who's stuck past the outro.
but yeah. Okay. Thank you for your time, Alex, and we'll see you next
Thank
time.
you.
I already
Thank
did
you.
the thing. I'm not gonna do it again. All right.
No encore for that.
Yeah.